We are issuing this statement from Dakar, Senegal, at the conclusion of our 5-day visit monitoring the 2024 presidential election. The members of the network that are taking part or were taking part in this process are Martha Karua from Kenya, that's me, Honorable Agathon Rwasa from Burundi to my right, Mwanaisha Mdeme from Tanzania, John Munyika from Tanzania, Zito Kabwe from Tanzania, and the Honorable Wafula Ogutu from Uganda behind me. The monitoring of the presidential elections builds on previous engagements on the political situation in Senegal by members of this network. One of those engagements was a visit to Arusha, Tanzania in October 2023, where following our engagement, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights issued a statement expressing concern about the deteriorating human rights situation in Senegal. A second engagement in November 2023 was a visit to Dakar, a response to the deteriorating human rights situation and a slide in democratic practice in the country. During that time, we met opposition parliamentarians and parliamentarians affiliated to the ruling party. We met with human rights leaders, the media, and listened to the stories of people deeply affected by the trauma of violence visited upon them as part of the political violence that this country has faced. However, our request to meet with Ousmane Sonko and Bassirou Diomaye, the leaders of PASTEF then in jail, were refused by the Senegalese authorities. Media activities during the visit helped to highlight the story of Senegal to the African continent and to the world, adding pressure for a much-needed resolution. Since the previous visit, the network has remained actively engaged on the situation in Senegal, always looking for and taking advantage of opportunities to further highlight the situation in the country. During the current visit to monitor the elections, members of the network participated in engagements with the people of Senegal to get a sense of their thinking about the current situation in the country. The network is grateful for the useful briefings that were provided by civil society leaders, which provided useful insights and updated information on the current political situation. On polling day, members of the network visited several polling stations in and around Dakar, where we observed the voting. We also witnessed the counting of the ballots at the end of the voting and followed the declaration of results, culminating in the declaration of Bassirou Diomaye Faye as the winner. The network congratulates the people of Senegal, who during 3 difficult years showed resilience and inestimable courage in defending their democracy. The network hopes that the experiences in Senegal will be an inspiration and example to the people in many other parts of Africa who face political repression and a source of encouragement that they too can win. We congratulate the leaders of the political opposition, PASTEF, for their decisive victory at the polls and for leading the people through those difficult years. We recognize the personal suffering that both Ousmane Sonko and Bassirou Faye have endured and the valor with which they have faced their tribulations. They have been an example to their people with whom they have created a mutually enforcing relationship of trust and courage. We urge the incoming leadership to put their energies to the task of healing and transforming the nation. Under great odds, Senegal has maintained its legacy of peaceful democratic transition, a much needed encouragement to the continent where the integrity of electoral processes and elections is deliberately and continuously under threat from both internal and external actors. We believe that the new leaders will serve the people of Senegal, as they have said, and we believe that the new leaders will never forget the tribulations and punishment that they have faced simply for leading the opposition. We hope that their memory of this experience will remain an enduring lesson on how to manage political difference while in power, and that they will never be tempted to use the power of the state to replace their political opponents or their supporters. The victory of the people of Senegal today is also the victory of the people of Africa. Senegal's spectacular comeback from what appeared to be a hopeless situation, a near state collapse, is a great lesson to the people of our continent never to give up their quest for change, whatever the circumstances. It is a lesson to independent state bodies and the professionals that lead those bodies, including judicial officers, electoral officers, and other public officials around the continent, on the impact that individual acts of integrity in decision making can have on the lives of the people in our individual countries and on the continent. Likewise, it is a lesson to our sub-region and regional bodies that all interventions in support of democracy and human rights matter. And in this respect, we applaud the African Commission on Human and People's Rights for its valuable contribution to Senegal's democratic endeavors. Our presence here today is an expression of solidarity of the continent, which we hope has been a source of energy for the people of Senegal and their leaders. A luta continua.